Yo, what's up guys? Universal Mastery. So what I do on my channel is I break down the occult sciences to an extremely practical level so that you can use them in your day-to-day life and get real actual results. So what we're going to be talking about in today's video is something that's definitely interesting and something that I'm sure a lot of people want to know a little bit more about, because this is one of those subjects that can go pretty deep. And there's obviously many different perspectives that you can view this topic about. And so I'm going to cover the primary idea of this topic. And what the topic is what exactly is shape-shifting? If you want to know, stay tuned. Alright, so first thing first, definitely make sure you go and check out the Patreon. On my Patreon, I have exclusive videos. Half of the videos are going to be geared towards actually practicing, so literally getting your hands and feet wet. I have chakra practices. I have traditional ritualistic practices. What else do I have? I have invocation, step-by-step breakdown videos of how to do invocations. And for those of you that don't know what that means, that literally means spiritual communication, calling a spirit down, using a proper technique, an occult technique, and communicating with that spirit. So I have videos that are geared towards that. And then the other half is going to be called educational entertainment. So the other half is going to be videos that are similar to this video. So it's going to be, me just, talking about entertaining topics, but also sharing some valuable information while I do that. So if you want to be a part of the Patreon and you want to find it, where you're going to find it is when you click the description. It's going to be at the very top of it's the first link in the whole description. So you're going to click the description. It's going to be that first link that you see right there. Right next to it, you'll see my Patreon. In order to gain access to these exclusive videos, and I'm dropping exclusive videos weekly, and this is going to be an ongoing thing, it's going to cost, you have to at least be a tier 2 member or up. So in order to be a tier 2, it's literally $9.95, which literally comes out to less than $1 a day, because that's $9.95 a month. So once again, that's literally less than $1 a day. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to afford that with the value that's on the Patreon. But other than that, when you go up in tiers, there's also different benefits that I offer. So I'm going to let you check that out for yourself. And then last, I want to give a special shout out to the top tier members of the Patreon. Their names are going to be mentioned in parentheses right below that link in the description. So other than that, I'm going right into the video, guys. Okay, so, and actually one of the main reasons, at some point in time, I was definitely going to make a video on this because this is definitely a unique topic, and I think, a lot of people want to know about it, and I think it's something that needs to be shared. But another aspect is, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I recently was hanging out with one of my friends, and we were literally talking about this. We were talking about similar ideas to what, like shape-shifting really is. And it was so funny because literally, I think it was just yesterday or 2 days ago, someone had messaged me on my YouTube comments, and they had said, hey, can you make a video on shapeshifting? So I was like, okay, let me put one and one together. It's perfect. I literally was just talking about it with my friend. We were going pretty deep on it. Now someone wants to know about it, so let me share this video. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say, okay, I want to get something out of the way, like right off the bat. So the first thing that I want you guys to understand is there are a lot of possibilities when it comes to shapeshifting. So I'm sure that a lot of you are probably thinking already, like, does shapeshifting mean you're actually changing physically? So for example, like, can I turn into like some type of different creature, a certain being? Like, if someone is a master at shapeshifting, can they do that? And the first thing I want to say is, I'm not going to say they can't, because you absolutely can change your physical appearance when you learn and master the art of shapeshifting. Realistically, there are very, very few people that have reached that level. So most of the time, and I'm going to say literally like 98.9% of the time, when someone mentions shapeshifting, they're not talking about physically, immediately shape-shifting. It's more so of an astral thing. And when I say it's more so of an astral thing, yes, it, like, if you were to shapeshift your physical body, it would still be an astral thing as well. But what I mean is, when most people talk about shapeshifting, they're talking about astrally. And okay, so I'm going to segue right into what shapeshifting really is. So shapeshifting is done on the astral plane. Okay, so in other words, it's you imagining yourself turning into something. Okay, so a lot of the times when people will use this art of shapeshifting, they will shapeshift themselves into animals, specific animals. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that in the astral plane, they're imagining themselves as an animal, and they change, like, so let me first start here. So when you imagine yourself in the astral plane, like, once again, this is a great practice. I think it's like, it's so powerful, and it's so simple. Imagine where you are right now. Okay, imagine exactly where you are listening to this video right now. Imagine yourself listening to this video, exactly where you are right now with everything around you. Okay, so the simple fact of you imagining that, you have now just tapped into your astral double, because imagining what you are, imagining what you look like right now, that's your astral senses, where you see yourself being in this moment. So shape-shifting is transforming your astral double into essentially whatever you want to change it into. I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but it's essentially changing your astral double into a different form. And then, later down the road, when you get more advanced with your occult practices, you will eventually make a connection with what's called your holy guardian angel, or your daemon, or some will even say your higher self. And when you build that connection, you can literally move around in the astral plane, and it looks a little bit different than you usually. For most people, it's like the most advanced, improved version of who you would be. That's a lot of the times that's like what people would envision when they think of their higher self or their holy guardian angel, like this divine, powerful, ruling being, and you can have your higher self or your daemon or holy guardian angel shapeshift as well. So I just want to throw that in there as well. But for most of you, it's going to be you're imagining your astral double transforming in your imagination. So you're imagining this, whether your eyes are closed, whether your eyes are open, you're projecting it out. However you do it, you're imagining you're shaping yourself into something else. So let's use an example. Let's use a lion, for example. So let's say that I'm imagining myself, and I'm imagining myself in my mind change, literally, like physical appearance, into a lion. Okay, so some of you might ask, like, okay, that's cool, I like that, it's a good idea, but what does that mean? Like, what does it mean? Because this is what I used to think when I first heard about shapeshifting and what it was all about. Like, okay, I understand people shapeshift, that's cool, but what's the point of it? Like, why are people doing it? What does it do for you? So then, as of recently, I got a pretty in-depth understanding of what exactly is going on. So, and you don't necessarily need this in-depth understanding of what's really going on to feel physical changes, just because that's how the subconscious and unconscious mind work when you do shapeshift. So like back in the day, I would shapeshift, but I would feel a little bit different when I would do it, but I wouldn't really understand why. So like if I saw myself as like a bird, I would feel more expansive. I would feel more like I'm tapped into the air element. I would feel more like just kind of like free flowing, like. And then if, like, for example, if I was like, let's say a lion, I would feel more dominant. I would feel like a king, like I'm the shit, like I rule this area. And it's just a natural feeling that you'll get when you start to practice tapping your imagination into those types of creatures. So what's really going on here is this. It's an energetic thing. So when I say lion, most of us here are all thinking of something exactly similar. So we're all thinking of a strong creature. We're all thinking of something that rules in its environment. We're thinking of something that can devour its prey. We're thinking of something that isn't usually taken advantage of. Something that rules and has authority in wherever it's located in its environment. We think of lions as these powerful, authoritative, strong royal, almost royal creatures. And you know, the reason why we think that is because essentially that's kind of what they are. You know, they kind of are those, I mean, it's like, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much what they are. You know, they are these really powerful creatures. But the reason why, if I imagine myself turning into a lion, the reason why it affects me so much is because that lion is built that way, because that lion does have those traits. There has been so many people that have seen that lion and understand what the lion truly is. And because of that, what that does is that creates a meme. It creates an energetic structure. It almost creates a frequency to that creature, to that lion. So when, you know, the more and more people that came across lions and realized what they truly are, these powerful, authoritative rulers of, you know, their environments, the more people that saw them and understood them as that, the more it charged that type of, you could say, meme, that image, that mimetic of what that creature is. So the more people that charge that idea of the lion, the more it becomes that ruling, authoritative, strong being in an energetic frequency standing point. So for example, I've seen lions before, but only at the zoo. Okay, so, but when I guarantee you, some of you may have never seen a lion before, but you can still understand how powerful they are. And I'm going to explain the reason for that. The reason for that is because they're charged up with that energetic frequency. They're charged up with an idea. They're charged up with emotion. They're charged up with thought. They're charged up, and it creates that archetype of that lion. This is like the same concept of what archetypes are. Okay, so, you know, like we have there's a new archetype called the Karen, right? And if you know, you know, but it's like a lady that's pissed off because she hates her life, and it's an archetype. It's like that's what it stands for. It's an energetic understanding of a lady that's fucking probably middle-aged, that's pissed off, and is expressing herself, projecting all her issues on other people in public. Right, that's an archetype. Okay, so we have the lion, and that creates a lion archetype of being a strong, authoritative, wise, almost just this powerful being. And because it's been charged up, and it's been charged up for so long, and so many people view them as that, and the reason why people view them as that is because they truly are very strong creatures, right? They truly are powerful, ruling, authoritative types of creatures, and that's the reason why they get charged with that energy. But because they're getting charged with that energy, if I want to take on the traits of what humans have put into that lion, because in the lion's mind, that's its natural state. It's just doing what it has to do to survive. It doesn't look at itself like, oh, I am the shit. I am above anything. The lion is just living. The lion's just doing what lions do. It's in its nature. It's just its default. That's what they do. They're powerful beings that hunt, you know, certain other types of animals. And you usually won't fuck around with a lion because, you know, they don't fuck around, and they will attack. But that's their nature. That's the point that I'm saying. So as the humans, we add these traits, like they're authoritative, they're powerful, they're strong, they rule in their environments. And because we add those traits to them, it creates a different, almost like a little bit of a different image of what the lion truly is. Because now we're adding our own human intelligence to what that lion is representing to our senses. So if I can imagine myself, right? Now I'm going to give you an example. If I can imagine myself being in the astral plane, if I can just simply imagine myself just being in the astral plane and then shape-shifting, just imagining myself turning into that lion, I am not only am I just changing my appearance into that lion, but I'm actually, what's really going on is I'm energetically linking myself to that archetype. I'm transforming my, you could say, subconscious and a bit of my conscious into the archetype of what that lion represents and stands for. And now, because I'm doing that, because I'm creating that link between me and that image and that energy behind the lion, I'm going to start taking on some of its attributes. So now I'm naturally going to start feeling stronger, more authoritative, you know, maybe wiser, like I rule my environment. I'm going to start walking around like I'm a lion. And it's just that natural energy, that frequency that's been built up over the years by many years by many people that you're tapping into when you create the image, because you can link certain things by image. So if I create the shape, if I shapeshift into the same image of that archetype, I'm actually, what's really going on a scientific level is I'm energetically attuning myself to that already charged up frequency of the archetype of the lion. And if I do that enough, right, and we see some people that have like certain types of tattoos, like I have dragon tattoos, I have bird tattoos, I have a wolf tattoo. These can all be different archetypes, right? And we see people with lion tattoos, all things in that nature. If you take on an archetype long enough and you do it consistently enough and you believe it enough, your physical body can slowly but surely start to alter a little bit. Now, I'm obviously not going to say like you're gonna start looking like a lion. That's not true. That's not the case. But you will. Like a good example of what could start happening physically is that you start to become stronger. You start to become more solid. You start to maybe take care of yourself a little bit more, and you know, maybe you didn't, what I mean by that is maybe you didn't like have an exercise program, maybe you were kind of lazy, and you know, like maybe when you started, you know, imagining yourself shape-shifting as a lion, the more you did it, the more you realize like you want to start creating routines for yourself, you want to start taking care of the environment around you, and because of those things, you're changing physically too, because you're now perceiving the world a little bit differently. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up. That is why when you shapeshift into something, there is already an archetypal energy. There is a frequency behind that thing. It's called a meme. Okay, it's called a mimetic. So a meme is when you see something and you understand what it means based off an energetic standpoint. It's like something you can really resonate with. And we all know when we see just a picture of a lion in the environment that it's in, we know that the first thoughts that come to our mind is, authoritative, powerful, strong, loyal. We think these things. That's because it's a meme. That's because this energy's been charged up for a long time. And that is the art of shape-shifting. So you can do that with any types of animals. So the more you study animals, the more you get in tune with the meme or the energy and the archetype behind those certain types of animals. And then you can start to consciously pay attention to how you feel like you're psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and physically changing from linking yourself to that different type of, you could say, animal. And I'm using animals as an example. You can shapeshift into whatever the fuck you want, right? Like you could shapeshift into a tree and you can learn certain things. But I'm not going to go there yet because, animals, that takes a certain type of spiritual person to understand that they can shapeshift into a tree and learn from the tree. Okay, but if that's you, then by all means, you can shapeshift into anything you want. It's all in your imagination, but it really does affect you. So I'm going to leave it here. I definitely know this video offered some of you value, so I'm glad I made it. Definitely hit that thumbs up, hit that like button down there, hit the subscribe button as well, and the notification bell, because I'm posting videos as often as I can. And remember, if you want to join the Patreon, you're going to find it at the very first link in the description. Okay, then you go to the second link below. You can place an order for the Hecate Sigil shirt merch. If you place your order, they will literally ship it right to your door where you live. Then you can go to the third link below. That's going to take you to the Facebook community. When you go there, you click that link, you're going to see a pinned post that says private group here. Request to join that and I'll add you in. But other than that, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or night wherever you are, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.